to the final episode of The Pod Has Spoken for season 49 of Survivor. Not forgotten yet. A lot of people wanted to forget season 49. Last night they were like, okay, we got Mr. Beast on the season 50. Let's scrap 49, throw it in the trash, and let all these young kids drink in whatever they've got planned for 50. But we're not done yet. 49, you're still in our hearts and in our minds. Riley's here, Ashleigh's here. First, want to apologize. We had some technical difficulties last night on the podcast record, so it is uploading as we speak. If you are here before there and want to go back and listen to our finale breakdown first, find that one. But, you know, you can listen. They're not necessarily, you don't have to listen to them in order. Just listen to them both. That's all we require. And we have a very special guest. The first guest we've ever had from season 48 of Survivor, Shauhin.
Ooh.
Shauhin Legs.
Oh, man.
Davari. Did I say it right?
Pleasure to be on the pod, my friend. Yeah, you did. It's
Davari?
Shauhin. Yeah, Shauhin.
I said
Davari,
Shauhin, but
yeah.
Davari. Yeah. Did I not say Shauhin?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay.
No, you nailed
legs.
it, my
I
friend.
know
Nailed
legs.
it.
And you're famous for your leg girth.
Yes, exactly. My leg girth is pretty legendary, actually. It's one of the things that I wish I could have shown off more on my season of Survivor, but unfortunately, Kerhofer had other plans. He wanted to see the arm challenges. And, you know, it's okay. The rest is history. They waited for the leg challenges for season 49. We had a bunch of leg challenges here on season 49. Bummed me out.
You take a risk, you know, like you probably beefed up on your legs hoping. And if you had been right, how brilliant would it have been? You know, when you're like, I figured it was leg time. So at the gym, I only did leg days. 49, better than 48. How do you feel it's going to go down in history?
I think that one of the difficulties in 49 was the elephant in the room of 50, like hanging over the season the entire time and knowing that, you know, if you paid attention to Survivor at all, you know that Survivor 50 has Savannah and Rizzo on it. And so I think that kind of hangs over the season. So in a vote like Sophie versus Savannah, a couple votes back, I don't think anybody was super concerned while watching the episode if they knew. I think on a rewatch, when you don't know, like if someone's watching for the first time, if another, you know, pandemic happens, and someone's watching for the first time like I did when I was watching some seasons, I think that it's going to hold up maybe better than I think the fans enjoyed it, and not even the fans, the Twitter fans. The Twitter fans and fans are two different things entirely.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I think it's been actually a pretty interesting season, especially because, you know, I think that we hate disaster tribes because it makes for a really difficult time getting to know everybody. That with the disaster tribes, it's hard because you just get to know the same people. And so it puts a lot of pressure on the people who survive the disaster to be super entertaining. They have to really carry the whole entire show. And, you know, we had Alex and Soph survive, and that's a difficult spot for them to be in. I think that Soph has this great eccentric personality, a positive attitude. I think Alex is not a huge eccentric personality. I think he was more of a reserved kind of narrator. And for those two to be the ones that survive, that makes it difficult for people to really go, you know, nuts for the early season. You compare that to season 48 and the pre-merge of season 48 with Say and Mary and Cedric and how wild and insane those three are. The disaster tribe isn't as bad a thing because it's like, yeah, let's keep those people on television. Those people are insanely entertaining. They give you all kinds of crazy confessionals and, you know, Say and Mary running around the island chasing each other. And, you know, they cut something from that scene where apparently Say was running around the island screaming, "I can smell you," at Mary. And it's just like, you know, the stuff that our Vula tribe came up with was pretty insane. And I think that the Kelly tribe was a little bit more tame. I think post-merge, you know, we have a game that really does come on strong with Jeff dangling season 50 in front of them. And I think we see the game kind of pick up from there. And I think that if you didn't know that Savannah and Rizzo were on 50, I think it would have been even more entertaining. But that's the way that it goes. I mean, I'll say this, during the Panini, I watched a lot of seasons that were spoiled for me. But it actually kind of was nice because I got to see your win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your win, Tyson, when I watched your season, that was spoiled for me. I knew you had won that season, but I got to see oh, okay, cool. He made this mistake and this is how he recovered, or he screwed this person over and this is how he talked to them in order to try and gain their jury vote at the end. And he didn't overmanage or undermanage or whatever. And this for his personality. So for me, it wasn't, I think, as bad as I think some of the Twitter fans, are saying it is or whatever. And then there's also the even for 48, I have a hard time listening to what the internet says versus what people say to my face. And I think that sometimes as players, we pay way too much attention to what the internet says. And we think that's the general consensus. It's not.
The internet loves me.
Is
that not accurate?
I think that might be one of those things that coincides. That both things are true. But I think that sometimes we confuse, and it's even in our rhetoric. It's even in the things that we choose to say. Right? People are saying, no, man, a PFP of a potato whose name is user 793 punch donkey balls. That's who's saying. It's not.
He woke up on the wrong side
saying.
Of the bed and wanted to try and ruin someone's day immediately. And
no tweet that says, "Oh man, I'm really enjoying." Not ever in the history of ever. I'm really just enjoying season 49 of Survivor. That tweet has no potentiality of being seen. Because it's not,
that's true.
There's nothing there. and also that tweet has no potentiality of being sent in the first place. No one's sending that tweet either. So every once in a while, I think it's important for fans and especially players, if you're a former player listening to this, to remember the internet and people are two different things. Because I'll tell you, Tyson, the reaction that I got from people, and look, no one's going to lie to your face, and I understand that. I'm not an idiot, but the genuine reaction, I know people, and the reaction that I've gotten to season 48, some of the things that people have said to me, it's on another level. It's a different experience. I'm sure you experienced it with
or are you talking
season.
In your face or online?
In my face, the people that have talked to me face to face. I mean, everything from this is my favorite season ever. And look, I understand. I get that people aren't going to they don't want to say that they might lie to your face. I'm not an idiot, but it's my favorite season ever. The stories that they have shared with me about, especially me personally, about the immigrant story and how that resonated with them, how, the story of Eva and Joe and me being being part of that, at least in some fashion. Obviously the Eva and Joe thing is a whole different thing entirely, but me being a part of that, they still recognize that and will talk to me about that. I had a fan last night at the watch party that I hosted out in Costa Mesa, who came up to me and he's like, "Hey, listen, I'm autistic, and watching the way that your cast treated the Eva and Joe thing and Eva in general was really massively impactful." And look, it's a different type of game today. And I think a lot of people that want the game to be what it was are going to voice their disagreement and they're going to voice how upset they are. But a lot of people who are happy with the evolution or understand that an evolution has happened, those people aren't going to be loud on the internet, and they're certainly not going to be celebrated on the internet. That's for sure. So
do you think that evolution,
important frame,
speaking of, because I see that all the time, bring back the villains, where's the fighting, where's the this and that?
Right.
Is it more in the edit? Because I have to assume there's arguments and stuff happening out there. I have to assume people hate each other. I think that honestly, it's more the edit than it's not the cast, it's the edit.
I think it's a little bit of both. I do think the edit doesn't want to create villains for what the internet does to these people. I mean, we look back at what happened to Jerry.
They didn't care.
Yeah, they didn't care.
There's if you were a contestant and you didn't hate yourself after watching your season, then the edit had failed.
And I think that's a good evolution.
Yeah.
These are real people. And also with the evolution of the internet and with social media, I think that production might understand like, hey, if we ruined people back then, like maybe they'll see a tweet, maybe some social media. But now, like these people, some of these, parasocial relationships that are created with the internet it's really crazy out there. And then on the other side of it, I think why, like, I understand that people get mad. There's no villains, blah, 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 casting, whatever. No. I think you're missing the point. I think casting is a part of it for sure. They're not looking for a Russell Hands anymore.
Yeah. They're not looking for a terrible person.
At the same, they're not looking for a terrible person, but also the players evolve. Like the players have watched the game. It's like football. Like you're not going to watch game tape and learn from the game tape. And so they recognize, okay, the Russell Hands thing doesn't work to win. And if I'm like that, I'm not going to win. How do I portray that without being that? And I think Rizzo's a perfect example of an evolution of the game. Rizzo and Russell have a ton in common, a ton. Both of them played with very strong alliances, incredibly strong alliances, right? That they made, that they really brought into themselves. They both changed the game. Rizzo by faking playing this idol over and over and over again. Russell by finding ones that without a clue. And on top of all of that, both of them, I think, played the game in a way that would make the people out there think the jury is not going to vote for me, right? That Russell did it by being an asshole, like being like just a genuine dirtbag. And Rizzo did it by saying cinema and chat, I'm cooked, and using this rhetoric that people that are out there just aren't going to respect, right? That if I was out there and I heard him saying that, it's like, you know what? I don't mind sitting next to this child at Final Tribal Council, but I think that was on purpose. I think that he would have claimed that at the Final Tribal Council is like, hey, I was doing that to lower my threat level, and then explaining his game and explaining all the things that he did. Russell
does Rizzo win?
Burned people.
Does Rizzo win in the end? Could he have won? Would he have beat Sophie? Would he have beat Savannah?
I don't think he beats Savannah.
I don't think he beats Savannah.
I don't think he beats
I don't think he beats
honestly.
Savannah.
I don't know.
Sophie?
I don't think he beats Sophie, maybe. I think that's a tight race right there.
I think the antics, if it's Sophie, Rizzo, if like Rizzo beats Savannah at Fire, right?
Yeah.
And it's the three of them sitting at the final, I think it's one of those scenarios where it really does come down to Final Tribal Council. It's not booked by the time they get there. It's really going to come down to, can Rizzo do enough to convince the jury that he not only was playing a character so that they would underestimate him, but how he used that in order to further himself in the game. And look, at the end of the day, remember, we have to remember, the jury only sees what happens at Tribal. They hear whisperings of what happened at the island when someone comes out of the game, but the thing that you see is going to be way more powerful than the whisper that you hear.
Yeah.
And Rizzo put on a performance at Tribal so many times. And sometimes they laughed at him. Sometimes they laughed with him. And so if he can make all of the laughing at him, make them realize that was on purpose, I think he wins the game. Whether he can do that in a 2-hour Tribal, really tough. But I mean, think about it. Rizzo was, with Russell, for example, like Russell burned people's socks, right?
Russell, he did things out of malice that you didn't have to do they served no strategic purpose. And I think that's a hard line. If you are doing things out of malice on purpose that don't benefit you strategically, then they hold you accountable 100% for that. If you can say, oh, I burned your socks for this and this, and it actually helped me in this way, there's some forgiveness there. Oh, okay, that's brilliant. But if you are just doing it to do, like Russell was out there telling the group that he was saving dogs during Katrina off the roofs of houses, and that his brother was on Biggest Loser and had placed on Biggest Loser, and then we find out that that's not true, like throughout the season, and we're like, why? Like what? For why?
Yeah. And then it's not like he takes responsibility for that, right? It's not like he says like, hey, I did all that stuff to make you guys think I'm an asshole. I'm actually a lovely guy, but I wanted to play the role of the asshole so you would take me to the end.
Yeah.
That's not the understanding that Russell had. Whereas Rizzo cheated too. It's okay to cheat in the game Survivor in certain ways. He looks at other people's puzzles. We saw it on the first episode. We saw it on the last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
every way they allow
I think
you
it's
to cheat,
interesting.
you may as well cheat.
If it's allowed, it's not cheating. You're allowed to look at someone else's puzzle.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, I agree. Very, very much so. I think that.
Also, it didn't help him. I think it helped him once, and then the rest of the time,
Yeah, it didn't go so well.
I know. But I do think it's an interesting thing that it's an evolution of the game, and we're mad at these players in a way, or maybe we're mad at casting or whatever for evolving the game. But like, wouldn't it be even dumber if people were still out there and getting thrown off the island because they were bossing people around on day one? Like, that doesn't happen anymore because we've seen it happen so many times that we've learned and not done that. Joe, on my season, he's a firefighter, father of two. This dude knows how to build a shelter. He knows how to make fire. He knows how to do everything we would need to do out there. And I could see him. I'll never forget him just like wanting so bad to boss us around and being like, no, I'm not going to do that. I've seen that fucking episode and I'm not going to be that guy that gets thrown out for being that guy. And we're mad at the evolution of the game in a way that we wouldn't be mad at the forward pass happening after decades of just running the football. Like, we get excited.
Like watching the bossy person. The narrative circling around the bossy person is always gold.
I agree.
And
it's it's not going to happen anymore.
Like, who was the rock star girl? Trashy Annie this season. She came out a little bossy, didn't she? Yeah, she for sure came out bossy. It still happens.
Yeah.
I think it still happens. Like, people are always like, how do I avoid getting voted out first? And I was like, don't be bossy. And don't be the worst in challenges by a mile. And if you are the worst in challenges, be extra helpful at camp.
Yep. And that's Sophie. Sophie nailed that. I think that Sophie, I don't know if Sophie was the worst on her tribe and challenges, but I think she probably was the biggest liability in a way. But she made herself so much more valuable in other ways. Like, she made herself so much more valuable in other ways. Yeah. Impressive run by Sophie, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I like all the way from Disaster Tribe, working her way and staying there and getting to the end. I agree. I think it would have been a great win for her. I do believe that playing Knowledge is Power wrong. It's like, it's hard to come back from playing an advantage wrong. It's so hard to come back. People put so much weight into that. Even when...
Especially when you play it wrong at Tribal, like you're saying, in front of the jury. Everyone sees you play it wrong.
Well, and Jeff
and
even
you see
admitted, like, it was a new
grin.
Oh my God, like, I got you.
Nope.
To be honest, like, Steven, if I'm Steven in that moment, I am gloating so hard but at the same time, it's like, it was a brand new little twisty Magoo. Like, there's no way Sophie could have been prepared for that.
Versus like Savannah played the extra vote wrong, as Jeff pointed out in the after show.
Yeah.
And no one even noticed. It like didn't even matter because she doesn't have to like stand up at Tribal and like announce it and then have, the votes get read and it be like
everything
a big
got played
thing.
wrong.
Yeah, did anyone
got played wrong?
Single advantage got played correctly.
Yeah.
Wait, wow.
Yeah.
Not a single one, huh?
Nothing. Yeah, that's what they said in the live show. Before we get to the live show breakdown a little bit, Ashleigh, you've had a night to sleep on it. Season 49.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best. Top 10. Top percentage.
I think it's like my top 20 for sure. Okay. I really enjoyed it. I think definitely sleeping on it, I had a lot of fun. It did make me mad a lot of times, which is good art. Good art should make you feel something. It wasn't boring. Even when it was kind of like, slowing down a little bit, I still was enjoying it. And I think they did a really good job with the editing towards the last couple of episodes. I feel like we were getting a little bit upset knowing exactly how things were going to happen. And then by the last like 2 or 3 episodes, we had no clue what was going to happen. We had no clue where the votes were going to go. I really liked that. I liked seeing everybody mess up their advantages. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
There's two things I like: when people go home with idols and when people show their advantage. And Jeff goes, okay, didn't work today. I love it. So overall, I really liked it. And I really like this cast. I think that they are really interesting. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect to like Rizzo and Savannah so much, especially Rizzo. He reminds me of like kids from like my high school, and I'm way past high school. So I'm kind of like, oh no, but he has so much heart and he's so interesting and funny. You can't help but like him. And then Savannah is a great winner. She is a challenge beast. She does deserve the win. She is right. She did everything she needed to do. I'm very proud of her. And of course, Sophie's really cool. We've always liked her from the minute we heard her very interesting voice. But overall, I really enjoyed this season.
Yeah, good. Riley?
Yeah, I think it's in the top half of New Era seasons. I'm not even gonna. It'd be too difficult to compare it to like all the past seasons and everything, but just looking at like the 9 we've had so far.
So you're saying at worst 50%, at best 100%. Like that's a wide range, right?
Like it's better than the like median New Era season, I guess. And I think that exactly, Shauhin, you nailed it. It'll be a bit better on a rewatch, or just would have been much better if we hadn't known that Savannah and Rizzo were on 50. You know, we avoided saying it on this pod in case any of our listeners hadn't seen that, but that was so publicly available when the cast dropped for 50 that it was almost impossible to avoid. I would imagine the vast majority of our listeners knew that. And so then there were certain votes. I remember the Nate vote in particular was egregious because it was this huge majority. And they were like, which of the Ulis are going to pick off? We're going to pick off Rizzo. Oh, but he has the idol. Savannah. Oh, but he might play the idol in Savannah. Or Nate, who's like the least threatening, but the safest. And I was like, okay, Nate's cooked, chat. Like he's done.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing in
those.
There
were like several more
viewers
that maybe weren't quite as dramatic as that, but we're just kind of like, I know who's safe here, and that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think, and I do, like, I want to give it its flowers. Like, it was a good season. The after show, there's a few things. We get the 3 women finale. I guess we hadn't had that since San Juan del Sur. Is that right?
Yeah.
And that was a long time. When was the last all male finale? Do we get those often? Are those more often? I don't fully know.
It's been.
I don't think we've had one in the New Era.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't think they happen very often either. But
here, I think a quick Google search says it's Survivor Nicaragua, the 21st season. It's actually been even longer.
Wow.
There've been some all male like where it's a final 2. But the last time it was a final 3 was season 21.
Okay. Interesting.
Unless Google lied to me, which is possible.
So Jeff tells Sophie bad news. She reminds him of the movie The Bad News Bears. Shauhin, for your information, I think he means the really old one from like the 70s, not the newer one.
I think you're probably right there. Yeah, I never saw
the newer one from 20 years ago.
Never saw it.
Yeah, there's a newer one from 20 years ago, but there's an older one from 50 years ago. And I think Jeff is referencing the one 50 years. Yeah, that's the one he's talking about. The one that definitely probably
in case
is
anybody's
not okay
wondering
to watch now.
Yes, we're making fun of how old Jeff is, just so we're super clear. Okay.
Yes. And old. Only because he says stuff like Club Condo and Boogie Woogie or whatever the other thing he says.
Yeah. Full tilt
boogie.
Yeah. And I think Jeff Jeff has a lot of input on the edit. So if he didn't want us to feel this way, he would have the show edited differently. So I don't feel bad about.
I have no doubt
about that.
Tyson, I don't feel like you feel bad about holding your tongue. Let's just be honest about that. I don't think you've ever been that guy. Yeah.
What do you think about Savannah's statement of everyone there having a bit of imposter syndrome because they grew up watching the show? And is that different? Like, I didn't grow up watching the show. When the show was first on, I was already 21, 22 years old, and I didn't even watch it until I was going through casting at 27, 28 years old. So I don't think I had the same respect and regard for the show that a lot of these new contestants have and will have, just because the show's been around so long. Did you feel that? Can you relate to that at all?
I was a new Survivor fan. I watched it during the Panda Express. Like, I started watching Survivor in February of 2020, right as the shutdown was about to happen. And what's weird is I still understood that Survivor was a huge part of the pop culture zeitgeist. Okay. I didn't know it was still on television, but I knew how important it was. I watched the finale of season 1. I didn't watch the rest of it, but I watched the finale of season 1 when I was in high school or whatever. And so I still understood its cultural importance. And that is something that I'm sure at least you understood in some part before going on the show. I had eventually watched all of the show before I went on. So it wasn't something that I grew up with, but it was something that I had become obsessed with and wanted to like go do and play and, make a name for myself and all of the shit that you hear a lot of the people that are out there saying. Let me ask you that question. Was that the case when you went out there where you're like, I want to make a name for myself on Survivor? I feel like that was part of your narrative, at least the first time you played, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't so much like that. It was that I felt I was better than anybody who had ever played. So like, I was like out to just like be like, I'm going to show myself as that. Like,
one of the best to play.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know it and you will know it. And so I think that maybe it's similar, but also like, I wasn't desperate to like, because I'd been successful in different, very like pro cycling. It was very competitive.
Yeah.
Was my livelihood for a while. So I think that was generally my mind frame. Is that how you say it? My mindset was that anyways. So I didn't really feel imposter syndrome, but there was, and there probably still is this, maybe not as much. There was a definite clear rivalry between the old school and the new school players, which that line is constantly shifting. And so people were like, oh, this new school kid, he sucks, old school forever. And then,
I don't know what that's like at all.
And you didn't have the new school. The new school had no voice. It wasn't like I could get out and be like, oh, those guys are just old and outdated and new school is the way to go, because they had more recognizability. They had a bigger name in the industry. They had all of that. So you just kind of like sat there and took it and were like, well, I'll just have to keep proving it over and over and over again. And then at some point I became lumped in with the old school after time had passed. And that will happen with you and everyone else if Survivor keeps going.
Yeah. At some point I'll be crotchety. I'm going to try and avoid it as long as I can, though. I'll tell you that.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. I mean,
I'll come over to the dark side.
You'll come over to the dark side.
No doubt.
Yeah. I don't know. But I see these watch parties. You had one last night. Old school players show up to the watch parties, old school, new school. Everybody seems to get along. I have probably the majority of our guests on this podcast are from the new era. And I always get along swimmingly with the people I have on here. So I don't know. I know it still happens. And I know that there's people that have played in the past that are crotchety probably towards the new school, but we're not like that over here.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah, it's all in good fun.
And it's also, it's all that you don't have a
voice like we have. Yet.
Yet. Don't worry, podcast coming soon.
Podcast incoming.
I do think, why not? I do think it's been really fun actually to be able to meet some of these people that I watched that helped me, through the pandemic, and meeting you today. But like it's been really a cool experience. I was actually, Danny DiLorenzo was at my watch party last night, and one of the things that she mentioned that like, what do you like about the old school, and like, what do you not like about the new school, or like, what are things that you're like? And one of the things that she mentioned was that they were just treated differently. that y'all were just treated differently by the media. Y'all were treated differently by production back then. And that has changed. And that's, probably better for the overall health of the players. I think that the health of the players when they come out of the game is considerably better than what happened before the new era. I think obviously not just the 39 days, but also just the way that the production treats the internet, the aftercare stuff. Like that is a huge improvement.
After what now are you saying?
The aftercare, like the care that...
Wait, what is that?
So aftercare is after production wraps.
Yeah. They forget about you and never talk to you again unless they need you on another season.
Not exactly anymore, actually.
Okay.
I hate to tell you this, but mommy and daddy, when they have their first kid, they make a lot of mistakes. And then later when they have their second kid, the youngest kid make all that's prettier than you.
But then 12,
they make some of the same mistakes.
Yeah.
On their 41st kid and a pandemic, they begin to really start taking care of their 47th child. With a therapist and other things that you probably need to learn as you come off the show of like different things that, and it, honestly, it was cool. We got like this amazing packet and a lot of former players had like written stuff to us
in your
about
packet?
How to deal with. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I think I did write something.
And a lot of that stuff was really helpful mental framing for what was coming for us. Because you really don't know. Like I didn't really understand how big Survivor still was until you're on and the cast announcement happens. Like even with the cast leak, it's leaked on this tiny little website that you think nobody knows about, but all of a sudden in one random day, you get 1,000 new Instagram followers and a flood of these random DMs. And that has nothing on, the actual preview. And that has nothing on episode 1. And it's like, God forbid you get deep into the season and it's fever pitch. And so it's definitely one of those things that you do need to be prepared for. It's something that you need to understand how it's going to affect you. And if you're not prepared, it's going to hurt. Like you're going to make lots of mistakes. You're going to pay more attention to things that you shouldn't and not enough attention to the things that you should. And controlling your focus, controlling your attention will determine whether you look back on this as a great time or not. And if you don't control your attention and you focus on a lot of the negativity that is out there and very easy for you to consume, and evolutionarily in our brains, it's the thing that we want to pay attention to. We want to pay attention to the threat to our survival. And the negativity is a threat to our survival. The positivity is not a threat to our survival. So our brain naturally is attracted to the bullshit and bile that people say about you. And it's not attracted to all the nice things, all the likes, all the kind messages. And so that framing that I got from former Survivor players, I wish that I could retroactively give to some of you old era folks, because I can see, I've met some people that are still, and I'm not going to name them, but I've met some people that are still really, really destroyed
I'll guess.
In certain parts of themselves by their experience. Yeah, go nuts. You can guess all you want. But you can feel it. You can feel it on people.
I mean, and I think, and maybe it's different now, but this, after you've gone through Survivor, there's real estate in your brain that is forever, owned by Survivor. Mm-hmm. And like positive or negative, it's still there. It's things you think about, and
it's there.
And it's always going to be there. And it's how you are able to disassociate from it or compartmentalize it into what it was. And, there's sometimes where I'm like, oh, fuck that fucking thing. And I just have to shake out of it and be like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm here with my family and my life and everything's great. And like, who cares that went that way in that season, or that these people felt this way about me? Like, that's like, you do just have to kind of, shake yourself out of it and remind yourself what's important.
And you won. You won a season.
I was able to have some closure. And that's still, for sure. For sure, 100%.
I definitely had. I mean, I had gone out there and was the alternate on season 46, and when I came out, I felt if they had asked me, hey, you're not guaranteed, but you might come back for 48, or you can go play 46 right now. Do you think you're going to come back for 48? I would have said with 100% certainty, I'm coming back for 48. There's no way they're not calling me back for 48. So from that moment of coming home, I was preparing in all kinds of ways for going out for 48. And one of the ways that I wanted to prepare was make sure that I was aware of protecting my mental space if I came home in 18th or 17th or 16th, and like really understanding that if I was prepared for all of those potentialities, that would free me to go play the hell out of the game. That if I understood that was a possibility, and I understood that that could be a devastating possibility, and instead of it being a devastating possibility, be very okay with it, then that would allow me to go play this game at the level that I wanted to play and with the freedom that I wanted to play the game. I talked to my team, my speech, debate, and theater team that I coach. I talked to them about performing with refined indifference to the result. Refine your performance, practice hard, do everything you can in preparation so that when the time comes to perform, you can do so with indifference to the result because you know you did everything you needed to do in preparation and there's nothing left for you to do. Go be indifferent to how it turns out and see how that performance turns out. It's always going to be better than when you're playing tight and scared because you want a certain result. You play with that freedom and you are capable of greatness.
Let's talk about Sage in that capacity. We chatted a little bit last night about her. I feel like she didn't put up as much of a fight at Final Tribal Council, maybe to protect her mental or emotional well-being, in the fact that maybe she felt she was going to lose anyways. And if at least she didn't put in a huge fight in that moment, she could say, well, it was because like I didn't at the end really finalize it. Like, and I've had Jeff actually on Blood versus Water when I came out, and he said something to the effect of, Tyson, you're so good. You're so good at this game, and you're so good at the challenges. You're so good socially. I feel like there's a subconscious part of you that is keeping you from winning this thing. Maybe similar to the same vein as Ozzy, where he's like, it's like that you're so good, but maybe subconsciously there's something that you're so concerned with failing that you don't put 100% into winning because it won't hurt as bad if you don't win. And I feel like Sage put in a performance like that, whether or not it's accurate, I don't know. But then she did have some regret about the way she played. In the after show, she was crying about hurting people and that it was a game, but like she didn't want to hurt anybody.
I think that's what made her feel the worst during the after show, because I think you're right. There may have been something subconsciously in her brain that wasn't allowing her to explain properly every strategic move that she made during the entire game to jury. And then when she gets to the end and then she doesn't win, she's faced with the fact that she had made all these blind sides, and she, even with like Steven, I think she felt the worst when it came to Steven, because that was very much her choice to blindside him. And then she comes up with nothing. And so then it's like she ended up being the main reason behind most of her blindsides, and also the reason behind why she wasn't able to snag the win, possibly, during the jury Q&As. So I think that she was just sitting there just like in full grieving over the fact that she wasn't being who she usually is. She seems like a very genuine, nice person. She wasn't very nice during the game because it is a game, but she had to go outside of herself and she didn't get anything for it. And it was her fault that she didn't get anything for it. It was just a whole bunch of that. And then she also didn't get a second to kind of like cry about it. I think she just needed a moment to cry but instead they had her eat pizza and drink champagne.
The cruelest. That's not good for your mental health, Shauhin, is losing finalists to forced to drink champagne and eat pizza and smile on camera.
Yeah, it's a brutal spot for sure, especially because, you don't even get a chance to go and break it down with these people that, I consider a day on Survivor 6 months in real life when you're talking about relationship building. So, you're out there for 26 days. You just spent 13 years of friendship with Sophie and Savannah and all these other people that you're on the island with. That's kind of what it felt like when I got voted out. I was on day 23. It felt like I had been best friends with Joe for about a decade. Like it felt like he was a friend of mine for about a decade. And to then go from that to not being able to like really console like him for, what happened and like explain myself for why I didn't vote for him. And like, he doesn't know what's going on. And you don't get to have those conversations because it's literally like they bring in the set, sit you down, and you're now on camera still talking. And it's, it's a weird thing. I think it's certainly a change up. It's certainly interesting for different reasons. Obviously, like for someone who's in that position, it's less than ideal. Like it's definitely a brutal spot to be in for Sage. I do think I do want to say for Sage's part there is something strange about apologizing when you get to the final 3, having done what she did, as opposed to leaning through it. Because when you apologize for it, in a way, you put the people that you destroyed in the position of having to say and coddle you, right?
Yeah.
You put them in the position of having to be like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, because you're being emotional. And I don't think it's intentionally emotionally manipulative, but it is one of those things that for me is hard. Yeah, it's unfair. It's like, wait. No, you sit here in the final 3 because of what you did. Don't now at the 11th hour apologize so that you cannot feel bad. You have to deal with feeling bad. And instead, I would much prefer the reaction of, hey, I did what I had to do to sit here at the final, and I know that I hurt people, and it's because of the people that I have back at home, and it's because of the person that I have inside of this body, and it's because I love and respect this game, and that's part of the game that I signed up to play. And so I'm not saying that she doesn't need to be sorry, but being in the way that she was so devastated by those things, it forces people like Steven, who she devastated, like, Christina, who she devastated, like Jawan. I mean, obviously she didn't do it to Jawan, but it puts them in the worst position of, you beat me at this game, and now I have to tell you it's okay. I think that puts people in a really tough spot. And it's why, like, I talk to people about their apologies a lot, because people have this tendency to just say, oh, I'm sorry for running late, as opposed to thank you for your patience, right? Thank you for waiting for me, because then that puts people in the position to be able to say, oh, you're welcome, which is so much better than saying, don't worry about it. That is taking the power away from the person who should be saying that. Imagine if Sage instead was like, hey, thank you so much for allowing me to play this game and allowing me to, I know that I hurt a lot of you, and I know that you all are gamers and you're okay with that and you respect that. Thank you for being gamers and not deciding that I'm the worst person in the world. That gives Steven and Christina the opportunity to be like, yeah, of course, you're welcome. We love that you played a hard game, and we played a hard game too. I think that dynamic shift is difficult to do at 26 days in. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take anything away from Sage here, but just maybe a note about why that moment feels strange. 26 days in, no sleep, no food, no opportunity for emotional rehabilitation before getting put on camera, and you just see emotions come out. And I think that's what production wants. They want that raw emotion, and they're certainly going to get it every time when it comes like that.
Yeah. Do you still on the after show here. We get Jake's snake bite again without seeing the snake bite.
I have a question. All right. Or an observation. They showed Sophie and Alex on the beach the minute the tide touches their feet and wakes them up. Right? Yeah. So that means that they didn't wake them up and they're already filming and they're like, got him. They didn't catch the snake even getting close to Jake's foot. Conspiracy. Yeah. Weird. Putting that out there.
I believe 3 things could be. Jake was messing with the snake. They're not going to show a contestant messing with a snake on camera. He believes he got bit, but maybe didn't. Something pinched his foot or jabbed him in the sand or whatever. And he felt something.
And then placebo effect takes over?
Saw a snake somewhere and thought maybe it's the snake. Or maybe he just wanted to go home to see his baby. But there was definitely cameras there. His footprints were in the sand. Like, why are we not seeing the snake bite his foot, attached to his foot? Is that too graphic for people? I don't know. But for all the times I've said these theories, no one that would normally reach out and tell me I'm wrong has reached out and told me I'm wrong. Name names here.
I would my debate coach hat is about to go on here for a second and say Occam's like the most likely explanation is probably the one, like don't see zebras when you should probably be expecting horses, right? Like I think that's the saying. I can't remember exactly, but
I've never heard that saying.
Yeah, I think the most likely explanation is that he got a dry bite and that he freaked out. He was also on, like, that dude's a gigantic human, no food, probably dehydrated as well, because it is actually like, it's not hard to get the water, but I don't know. Doesn't he seem like a guy who would forget to drink water? And then freaks out.
Well, when you're that muscly too, the dehydration sets in quicker.
Way faster. And then all of a sudden he freaks out, and now they're putting the mask on him and Jeff's screaming in his face and blah, 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 blah. And then they finally calm him down and realize it's a dry bite. He's not going to die, but now his adrenaline's all shot. They don't want to take the risk. It's not worth it. There's the added benefit pressure of, like, he does have a kid that he could now go see. And we already pulled him out so far out of the game, gave him a bunch of things, putting him back in the game. Maybe the players might feel it's unfair. I think that's probably the most likely explanation. And you're right that they just didn't want to show the bite happen on camera. But listen, I love a conspiracy theory, so I'm here for it. I think Jeff planted the snake that bit him personally.
Yes, it's an actor.
Production, I was a paid actor for production.
In the same location, and they said those snakes are very venomous, but their mouths are not big enough to bite you anywhere except for the webbing of your hands, pretty much, the webbing of your fingers. So now getting a bite on the bottom of your foot also, and the fact that nobody's ever documented a bite in Fiji, and there still isn't a documented bite because we didn't see one on camera. So
I'll just say this.
Report, maybe. Documented, no.
I'll just say this. I'm really glad that Jake's okay and he got to see his baby get born. Yes. I think that's more important than winning the money for Survivor, because I don't know.
No.
I would have been
seeing your baby born?
He has to see his baby born over winning the money. Come on.
Baby's not going to remember. No, absolutely not. Sorry. Absolutely not.
I don't think I would leave someone who was having a baby to go play Survivor. I'd be like, let's do it next year. But
first child too.
But but if you're there, then
so you'll catch the second one. Like, what's the big deal?
You better win the money. No. But I think that if you don't win the money and you skip the birth of your child to be there and don't win the money, there is going to be some regret there for a long time, if not forever.
I agree with you there. There, I agree with you. That's for sure. Yeah. You will regret it. But
if you win the money, I don't think you'll regret it. You'll be able to justify $1 million and be like, did it for you, kid. But we are also going to drive a Lamborghini for a while. let's go to season 50 trailer. Jeff simping all over these celebrities. Do you like the celebrity edition for 50?
I'm going to let the other ones take it here first. You go nuts.
Okay.
I have thoughts, but I'll let y'all go first.
Riley?
I mean, I'll be the Debbie Downer. I think it's stupid. So, like, hopefully this is just, I mean, I guess the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol might be, that sounds
I
like
think
a
they're
real
so funny. Like,
twist of some kind.
If you're going to do it, like, lean into it. And the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol is like the perfect, like, this is stupid. It's like so stupid that it's like, lean as hard as you can into that.
It's not good. Like, okay, I could maybe get behind, fine, like, we're going to be silly and have fun with this stuff, but why do it for 50? Why not do it for 51 or another newbie season or something?
Because 50 has all the hype.
Well, hype. Yeah, right. It already has the hype. The hype. It doesn't need the celebrity cameos and stuff. And if the idea is to bring in new viewers, if it's like, hey, we need Mr. Beast because he has this really young audience, so we're CBS, we're getting old, like, maybe we need to bring in these young people. Why bring them into a season where you need like 25 years of context to fully appreciate it? Bring them in on a season with all new players so you don't feel like you're left out.
To get the Mr. Beast demo, all they need to do is do a full cast of 18 to 25-year-olds.
No, they're not going to get the Mr. Beast demo no matter what. Because it's not like, fast cut, like, weird YouTube content slop. So, whatever.
To get that demo, if you're looking for that age group, then you need a full cast of those young kids that all speak like Rizzo. Like, a full cast of Rizzo would maybe get more younger viewers.
And
then, like,
to
college
be on Survivor.
Yeah. Maybe. But it would lose me, and that's the real tragedy.
Yeah. Ashleigh?
First off, I want to start calling Rizzo Rizgod now that Uncle Jeff has approved of it officially. The celebrity portion, I don't know. It feels a little weird. I'm not going to lie. I don't think you watch Survivor to see Mr. Beast, but I feel like, so I was one of the first, like, viewers of Mr. Beast when he first popped up onto YouTube before he got really popular. Yeah, it was way back in the day where he was, like, eating pictures of Jake Paul every day so that Jake Paul can notice him. It was a very strange time in YouTube history, but so it's just, like, weird to see him, and I think I'd like it more if they made him do a challenge instead of just being like, here's Mr. Beast with the box, and, like, now you guys have to fight over $1 million because he brought over literal money in a box.
Yeah,
I would rather him, like, be a part of the cast in another season or something than just to see him pop up. Like I think Mr. Beast is almost like a big celebrity, but he's still super, like, just a YouTube thing. So I think, he's like a niche thing. You know what I mean? So I feel like, I don't know. It's just a weird celebrity thing to have. And I'd rather see him do fun things than just bring in a random challenge or a random advantage or just throw more money at Survivor, which I'm sure he's doing. But, like, I think it's just a weird vibe right now.
My take real quick here. Shauhin, I can see his cogs are turning in that brain of his. Survivor has always been about the regular person, the going and the crossroads of the country, going and meeting up on Survivor and playing. Regular people, like, work at post offices and drive trucks and are trainers at the gym. These are the people that come and play Survivor, in so much that they don't do returning players very often. Jeff doesn't want a superstar. He doesn't want somebody to be a celebrity to then be out there, and has always made sure that contestants do not become bigger than the show itself. So then this is the exact opposite direction of everything he's fought for over 25 years. Shauhin?
Yeah, damn. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely nail on the head there, which makes me think about what Mr. Beast did. Like, I think that some of the reaction that we're seeing right now is the knee-jerk reaction it really depends on what he ends up doing out there. It really depends on how they use these things and how it plays out. I think that, Mr. Beast is pretty clever. Like, I don't think he's niche anymore. I think he's pretty well known and widely known now.
I know nothing about what he does at all. I just know the name. I know he makes YouTube videos. I know he does like pays people to do weird stuff. And that's like literally, I've never seen content. I've never looked it up. It's never popped up on my FYP. I don't even know.
Yeah, your algorithm.
You're not his target audience.
No, I'm not. But I do think that if it wins Survivor a bunch of new viewers, great. I just can't see like Billie Eilish's audience being like, guys, she's got the boomerang idol, on Survivor. Let's all go tune in. I don't see that happening, but maybe it does. And, I put my foot in my mouth too early here.
I think that the parasocial relationship with people like Mr. Beast and Billie Eilish is strong enough where they will go, and at least a decent number of them will check it out. That I think I don't know. I wonder like the stuff about Taylor Swift with Charlie. I wonder how many Swifties learned about Charlie because he was a fellow Swiftie and they wanted to support that community. I know personally, like I know this is a very different example, but just being the first Persian man to play Survivor, I not a lot, but I did bring like new fans to the show that reached out to me and told me like, hey, I watched Survivor for the first time because I heard there was a Persian guy playing Survivor and I wanted to like support. I had someone at the watch party last night that was like, that said exactly that same thing, like a Persian guy from Orange County. Like, so I wouldn't put it past the massive fans of these people to kind of consume everything, every move they make, every, fart they have, they know about it. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it wins them a non-insignificant number of fans. But again, I really think it depends on delivery. This is a great idea, whether it's a jump the shark idea or an absolute smash hit. That's going to have to depend on, what happens. The celebrity sighting that I want to talk about, though, is not Mr. Beast. It's not the country music star, and it's not Billie Eilish. Do you want to know the celebrity sighting that I want to talk about?
Mike White.
I want to know. It's not Mike
Jimmy
White
Fallon?
either. It's not Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Jimmy.
It's not Jimmy. It's the celebrity sighting
of
somebody playing a challenge for the first time ever.
Oh.
Did y'all miss this?
Yes.
Jeff Probst, celebrity sighting.
Is he in a challenge?
Playing a challenge?
Yeah,
dude, he was holding the thing.
I don't know if that was a challenge or if he was dropping something in preparation or setting like
he was struggling though.
Go.
It looked like he was like
dude,
trying
it looked like
to...
he was.
It was
I watched that clip 10 times. And can I tell you why I watched that clip 10 times?
Yes.
On our season, we talked to Jeff about, hey man, like, how like for the first 5 minutes before you run a challenge, Jeff might come talk to you for a second. Yeah. We talked to Jeff, season 48, talked to Jeff and was like, Jeff, you should run one. Like, you should run one with us. It would be so fun to compete against you. And it was like, oh, wouldn't that be weird? And it was like, hell no. Like, we would love that. Are you kidding? Like, we would be so into that. And so I wonder if that wormed its way in.
You guys changed the whole game now.
Hey, I don't know if that comes up a lot. I don't know if that's come up on other seasons as well, but it certainly was one of those things that like, having Joe and David and like these big guys and like me too, like I'm super, I'm not big, but I'm super competitive. And man, oh man, it would be so fun to run a challenge against Jeff Probst. And like, I don't know, put up your vote. Like if you beat Jeff, you get to keep your vote. And if you don't beat Jeff, sorry, you don't get your vote tonight. Like that would be kind of an interesting mechanic. And on something like 50 with all these iconic people coming back, I wonder if it's just a bait and switch where it's like, I don't know, Jeff versus Mr. Beast or something. And like, I don't know. Like, who knows? Like it could be Jeff versus Mr. Beast and the winner
dropping.
He's like
lowering something down or
yeah.
like, whatever. Who knows what it is.
That would be such a lame... Oh, that'd be so lame. That'd be so
He does
lame.
have interview questions a lot where they ask if he would play Survivor or how he would do on Survivor and things like that. But I haven't ever heard the argument of like, have him compete in a challenge on the show while he's hosting.
Yes.
Is one of these four celebrities going to like take over for Jeff in the future?
possibility.
Oh,
like only
goodness.
Mr. Beast probably out of anybody.
Oh, I was hoping it'd be Billie Eilish.
I would doubt. I think it'd be a huge. This is going to sound super strange, but I don't think Mr. Beast is going to step away from his brand. I don't think it's a downgrade. I just think he would
make less money.
Money would be and so I don't think he's stepping away from his brand. I think that'd be a really weird step away for him.
He wouldn't do that.
I think it'd be interesting to see someone like Fallon take over, but late night to this seems super strange. I don't know that's the right person. I will say this. I think that former players is also probably not the way to go, because it's really hard to turn your brain game off. And I love playing host. I love hosting my watch parties and asking the questions and all that shit. But I think that you can't help, but it'll be interesting to see the experiment with Australian Survivor with David, a former player, going over there and hosting the show. Like, that'll be interesting to watch and see how that works. I know that US Survivor does not watch, or at least they say they don't really watch that. I wonder if they'll tune in just to see how that goes. But I don't know. I also think Jeff has a long way.
They also have input on who gets to play over there. So that's...
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Weird. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, that will be interesting to see. I don't know. Like, Jeff, for the love, could keep doing this forever and ever until Survivor is no more, or he could, just live in Fiji without being the host, still be the EP on it, whatever.
It's crazy that Jeff hasn't missed an episode. It's crazy that he hasn't called in sick one time. Think about, that's an insane record. Yeah. And I don't even know what would happen. And that's crazy. Is there any other show that's been on this long where the host just doesn't miss a day? Doesn't miss, by the way. The dude doesn't miss. Okay. Yeah.
I think there's some long-term game shows like that.
But they would record, that would be they would record 5 of those in a day or whatever, right? And they could probably move that recording around.
Yeah, but Jeff isn't also present every single day on Survivor on camera.
But they
He's
do have
more so now with New Era, but with 39 days, we wouldn't see him at least.
But the schedule is so much more rigid on Survivor, right? It's you have to do a tribal council every 3 days or 2 days or whatever. If he gets a crazy stomach bug or the flu or something, they can't just be tribal council.
He's still on camera. They just maybe he takes his breaks or whatever.
I'm sure that's happened. I think
he's had to have been sick at some point while filming and just Michael Jordaned his way through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But stage health helps a lot, but still, it's still an impressive run, and also still doesn't miss. He doesn't stutter, he doesn't run it again. In the whole of the season, he doesn't. The only thing I think I really ever remember him doing is asking a question and someone being like, "What?" and him being like, "Okay, that was terrible. Let me ask you the question again." But other than that, at the challenges, it's super impressive. That's a memorized monologue that he's delivering, and he's explaining all these challenges. And I really don't remember a single time where he was like, "Oh, I messed that part up. Let me try that again." That never really happened. The dude's a consummate pro. He's still doing it at a high level. And again, a lot of people disagree with the direction that the show is going. But if you listen to the man, it makes sense. He says, "I'm making the show for young people so that they can follow, so that they can become big fans, so that this show continues to evolve and continues." He's been very clear about his ethos and what he wants out of Survivor. That is a huge, colossal shift from what Survivor was when it first came out. It's a colossal shift from what Survivor was when you won it, my friend. It's a colossal shift. And whether you're okay with that shift or not is fully fine and up for debate. But he is very clear about the vision. And when someone has clarity of vision, they're executing at a high level. I think that he's not going anywhere for a while. I think we're early on the Jeff talk.
Yeah. Okay. You like the 2 weeks leading into the 50 premiere? They're going to replay iconic episodes every evening of the contestants. So that means 2 weeks leading up. That's 10 business days. So they're going to have 10 business days-ish, maybe 12, 13. They're not going to be able to get to everybody, or are they going to play multiple episodes in an evening?
I don't know. But the promotion that they're doing for this thing with the hiding idols in all these places, and 2 weeks
already
leading up, trying to give everybody
no
context.
Need to look, guys.
Yeah, I had people at the watch party already talking about putting together like, hey, we're going to do this as a group. Like, we're going to start decoding whatever clues come out as a group at the watch party. And that's like, they know how to, that sounds like some fun buzz. Everybody gets to feel like they get to play a part in finding whatever. Actually, I had a mini
Will
Jeff
there be dead
Probst
treasure
at my watch
by
party
the end of it?
Dead treasure hunters?
Dead treasure
hunters?
You know how
like
people are going to kill each other over this?
Like Finn, whatever his name was, hides a treasure and like 16 people died trying to find it before it was finally found. Like, what is... I don't think it's going to be that dangerous, but...
I hope not. The last time they ever did this.
Cooper, the Goonies. Hey, you guys. Yeah. DB Cooper. Yeah. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see everyone kind of get their hands involved, and I'm sure there will be social media all around it. Like they definitely know what they're doing when it comes to promoting season 50 for sure. They're going all out, and they have been and that's, I think, to bring it back to this season. That's one of the things that has been hung over this season. It in some ways does feel like a big advertisement for Sophie and Rizzo, and a big lead into Survivor season 50. It makes sense that they've done it this way, in a way, because it's like, hey, yes, this is an excellent season of Survivor. A bad season of Survivor is better than a good season of damn near anything else. Okay. And so they are going to lead into season 50, and man, oh man, that the trailer last night, feel one way or the other, but they're definitely telling you we are going to promote the hell out of this thing, and it's going to be a wild, wild ride. And seeing those clips of the old game, man, was crazy. It was crazy to see that clip of Coach like manhandling somebody with the that was crazy. It was Colby.
Coach calls it a frog march, frog marching Colby. Yeah. And so they were both in it. The Coach had the opening monologue there leading into it with great. With the old westerny music.
I was like, I'm ready for Coach to be back on our TV screens, man.
And it matched Colby's vibe, the music did. And we got to see a lot of the old school players that were coming back. Jenna from season 1, Suri back again. Q, we got some good Q moment. Yeah.
Do you notice a lot of them are wearing outfits that they wore on previous seasons and stuff? Yeah, it's like Ozzy in his camo and Q in his like purple polo and stuff. I'm sure production.
When you come out on the show again, a lot of time, like they were trying to get me in a deep V-neck every single season. I was like, I don't wear those anymore. I do not want to wear one. So I think that they like that because it makes you more recognizable.
Continuity.
Yeah. Before we go, Shauhin, did you get called 450?
No,
you did?
I did not.
Oh.
No.
You did not.
No.
I don't know.
Negative. They absolutely did not call me. The only thing they called me and said, they were very, very kind and said, casting called me. My casting producer called me and said, hey, you did a great job. Loved watching you out there. Very, very proud of you. And I was very grateful for that phone call. Shout out Penny. And that was very cool. And that was an awesome experience. I would have gone in a heartbeat. And I actually texted Jesse Tannenbaum and said, hey man, it would be the best and funniest thing ever if you brought me out as the alternate for season 50, just because I was the alternate on 46 that got talked about a lot. And I think it would be hilarious if I was the alternate again on 50. And I don't think he even read the text message, but I thought it was clever. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's okay. That's the way it goes, man. It's fine.
He'll call you if he needs you.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. Yeah. I also I understand Joe, Camilla, Kyle, 3 people from my season already. They're not going to number 6 when they're picking people from the top, 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Well, there will be future seasons of returning players, I'm sure. So,
and there's my winner pick, by the way, too.
Who?
My winner pick. I'm picking Joe Hunter. I want Joe to win this damn thing. I love that man.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want him to win, or you believe he will win?
I want him to win. I believe he has a good shot at winning. I think that those people just watched his season. They watched like the type of game he played. I think that in some ways they'll underestimate him as a player. And in some ways they'll think like, oh, okay, well, he went to the final. like we could take him to the final and that would be a good person to work with. He's loyal to the soil. Like he doesn't want to turn on his allies. And I think that, I think that could be a good thing for Joe. And I think Kyle and Camilla are going to have a hard time considering they just came off a victory and, they worked together to create that victory. And so I think they have maybe a harder road to hoe if you're talking about people from my season. And it's the fresh season they saw right before they got on a plane. I mean, we saw the finale of our season and a week later they flew back out. And so it'll be interesting to see how I'll be very interested to see how those three people from 48 kind of navigate this season 50 thing. But yeah, I'm rooting for my boy Joe Hunter. And obviously I want Kyle and Camilla to do well just because it's good lore for season 48.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Riley, anything else before we close it down?
No, I like this is great.
Ashleigh, final words on the season?
I liked it a lot. And I think that's it, actually. Rizgod.
Yeah.
Rizgod.
I wonder how they're going to do.
GG,
wonder how they're going to do on 50.
I wonder out there because they're back to back. They came home for maybe 2 weeks.
9 days.
I'm so
10 days.
Yeah. We can talk about this more in our lead up to 50, but I am fascinated at how Savannah and Rizzo are a duo, and then Kyle and Camilla are a duo, except everybody knows about one of those duos, and the other one, no one will have seen this season going into 50. So how that affects the gameplay.
And they really can let us know. I'm sure someone will. I feel like maybe they didn't travel out with the rest of season 50. They might have traveled out a couple days later on their own and then arrived so that there was no chance of, or less chance of them getting leaked in transit to 50. So they might have had time to sit on the plane and chit chat together and come up with their plans. But again, that's just, I have no info on that. It's just speculation about how the show has operated in the past.
No, I was going to say, I will say that when we were on the plane for 48 and 46, the idea of talking on the plane was like not a possibility because they were sitting like the production was like sitting either in between you or you were on opposite sides of the thing. So I wonder, especially coming off the heels of 49 where they kicked 2 people off, I think they were probably
interesting. Yeah.
Dead serious about the pre-gaming already. I think that would be a tough one to do. On the other end of the table, though, you have a bunch of returners, and I don't think there were any alternates out there. I would doubt that there are, and so I wonder if they might have done a little bit more than we think. But
also with 24 people, somebody screws up, you just cut 2 people.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, or 3.
Then or 4, whatever you got to cut. Just be like, oh, okay, we were going to do 24, but this guy screwed it up, and it's you who are going to lose out on it now. Sorry. Bye. So, yeah. All right. Well, we're very excited for 50. We have a lot of 50 content coming up. Shauhin will be throwing viewing parties. Every episode. Every episode in season 50.
Probably 6 or 7 episodes out here in Costa Mesa. I might try and do one on the road and see if something like that. One of the things that I do with my watch parties is I want to make sure that they're all ages. Like we had a mini Jeff Probst, at my watch party, and he hid 2 idols, and then the people that found the idols got to compete in a challenge, and then one of them won a Survivor buff. And so I like having the family-friendly atmosphere. It wasn't an alcohol-based space, especially on a Wednesday night. I wanted to create a space where people could go and, enjoy watching the television program with really good quality sound and a good family dynamic. We had tons of Survivor games and stuff. And so if I can find a space like that in another city, I might travel to another city to do something like that. But those are the foundational principles. And of course, the number one rule about one of my watch parties is you got to make friends. It's a place where you have to come and you have to leave knowing that you've made some new friends. That was one of the important parts about what I was doing out there today or yesterday. And so, yeah, definitely going to throw a bunch out here in Orange County. And hey, if you're a Survivor player and you're thinking about going to a watch party, consider coming out to Orange County. I promise you, I'll show you a really good time. The fans that we have are really awesome, badass, really cool people that, they go all out for the people that came. It's just awesome. So come out, Tyson. Come on out, bro. Come.
Expectations are really high. I don't go out that often, Shauhin, but if I'm there,
come. Listen, I will beat you in pickleball, and we can.
The only time anybody's gotten me out of my house is a pickleball challenge.
Yeah. Come on.
Okay.
I wore these just for you,
now
my
I'm
friend.
seriously considering. Yeah, those look great.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll consider it. So you can follow Shauhin on social media platforms to find out when and where the viewing parties are next season. We want to thank everyone for tuning in all season long. Like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the special Season 50 content that we will start releasing here shortly. Until 2026, that'll do. Thanks, everyone. See ya.